An impeachment inquiry is simply empowering the House to a greater level to get the documents they need to answer questions.
Ever since Kevin McCarthy announced that Republicans are launching an impeachment inquiry into President Biden, the media and members of the Democratic Party have carried on as if we're entering uncharted territory.
Speaker McCarthy made the argument the other day that, well, Nancy Pelosi set this precedent.
I say that that's hogwash. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I don't know why the press keeps repeating it.
Here's the former House Speaker in 2019.
There's no requirement that we have a vote. And so at this time, we will not be having a vote.
Opening an impeachment inquiry isn't a vote to impeach. Rather, it provides more legal force behind House subpoenas to investigate the president's role in promoting the Biden family's business connections to shady foreign firms.
We have found that President Biden did lie to the American people about his own knowledge of his family's foreign business dealings.
3 committees have been investigating these ties, a public service that's exposed how Hunter Biden, the president's son, used Joe Biden's name and position back when he was vice president to attract foreign business partners.
Ultimately, the Biden brand.
Some $20 million has already been found to have gone to Biden family members or associates via shell companies. And while that doesn't add up to the Constitution's impeachment standard of bribery or high crimes and misdemeanors, it is worth investigating.
We don't have any of the credit card statements from all the credit cards from this shell companies. We don't have the president's bank statements. We don't have Hunter Biden's bank statements. Providing information like that would answer the question.
For years, Joe Biden has denied ever discussing his son's business dealings with him, a response that changed recently.
The president was never in business with his son.
And today, the White House press secretary continues to deflect questions related to the Biden family's business dealings.
I'm going to refer you to my colleagues over at the counsel's office on any specifics to the inquiry.
Over at the White House counsel's office, Ian Sams sent a memo to editorial leadership at US news media organizations in which he says it's time for the media to ramp up its scrutiny of House Republicans for opening an impeachment inquiry based on lies.
I'm not sure, based upon how many of you got the memo from the White House legal counsel on what you should say. I didn't know that was the role of the White House, to try to control the media.
Mr. Sams also put in an appearance on MSNBC's Morning Joe.
I think that what we can do and what the independent press can do is to hold them accountable for those lies over and over again.
The press is already calling Mr. McCarthy's inquiry a drive to impeach.
Congressman Issa came out and said that both Chairman Jordan and Comer were not able to present anything that was an impeachable offense at this point. Is that an assessment that you share?
You know, the impeachment inquiry is not impeachment. So what impeachment inquiry is to do is to get answers to questions.
History suggests that such investigations do gain an inevitable momentum that makes an impeachment vote that much more likely. But the bigger risk for the House GOP is if voters in swing districts conclude that impeachment is merely one more exercise in partisan score settling. That's what voters concluded about Ms. Pelosi's first impeachment of Donald Trump.
He is hereby acquitted of the charges in said articles.
Short of proof that Mr. Biden personally received checks from foreigners, there's no chance the Senate would convict the president, even if the House impeaches him. Meantime, Democrats will continue to argue that Republicans are focused on impeachment rather than on policies that make life better for voters.
They have spent all year investigating the president. That's what they've spent all year doing. And have turned up with no evidence. None.
Congress is in danger of turning the serious sanction of impeachment into the new censure, a statement of rebuke rather than a threat of removal. And with an election coming in 2024, Republicans will need evidence of genuine corruption by Mr. Biden if they want to convince a majority of Americans that he should be removed from office.
Do you believe the president went to Cafe Milano and had dinner with the clients of Hunter Biden, who believes he got those clients because he was selling the brand?
That's what the testimony said.
Okay. Do you believe the $3 million from the Russian oligarch that was transferred to the shell companies that the Bidens controlled after the dinner from Cafe Milano took place?
what the testimony said.
Okay, then I go back. Do you think the president lied that he? When
But
he
is that
said-
an impeachable? Is lying an impeachable
Well,
offense?
you want to know. I'm not saying impeachment. All I'm saying is I would like to know answers to these questions. The American public ought to know, and that's what impeachment inquiry provides.